What is going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we're bringing you the full showcase video now for Ace Sabo, giving you guys my thoughts and opinions on the unit as a whole, as I've used him in a couple of pieces of content thus far. You guys would have seen already on the YouTube channel, I already have a video of the Ace Sabo versus the Garp challenges available right now, as well as I have used him in PvP, and he's been pretty impressive in almost every facet since I've used him. And in this video, I want to go through the positives that I've located, as well as the cons and the negatives that I've found whilst using this character thus far. I mean, forewarning though, this character is amazing, probably one of the best units in the game. I don't think it is the best unit in the game currently on global, but it's pretty close. This unit is a fantastic unit that has a lot of things going for him. So I guess without further ado, let's jump into the positives. First of all, his captain ability being a rainbow 4 times to a 5 times captain. Obviously ranges depending on lots of different things, whether he's in their solo form, whether you have a matching slot, and then if they're in their dual form, whether you have a matching slot as well. The multipliers range between 4, 4.25, 4.5, and then a 5 times boost. Obviously, dual captain with matching slots is the best case scenario. Also, in their solo captains, having a 4 times to a 4.25 with a matching slot is acceptable. Plus, you know, having that with the inbuilt utility of removing 10 turns of despair or 10 turns of special bind, depending on who's active at the time. So that makes up a little bit for the lack of damage by having like such amazing utility. I know that the Fire Tank Pirates kind of have a similar thing as well, where they're a dual unit, but they make up for it with having, you know, obviously boosting 2 of the best classes in the game, as well as also having a pretty decent utility, and they've got a fantastic special as well. But also, this unit has a 1.3 health pool, and also recovers every time you hit it perfect, so they have great inbuilt tankiness for this unit. So Rainbow Captain, health, and recovery for every perfect with utility. There's not really much more you could really ask for. I mean, they also make certain slots matching as well, which just makes the unit even better. But then, of course, the thing that makes this character go over the edge is their swap effect. And obviously, this is the first SugoFest exclusive character in the game to get access to Super Swap. So the regular swap is quite good. It's basically like an alternate of Shanks' crew, with the fact that they give adjacent slots matching every time you swap, but they also give your crew a 1.5 times color affinity boost, whereas Shanks' crew is 1.5 times attack. However, this character upon Super Swap after 4 swaps gets a full board of matching slots and a 2.25 times color affinity boost to all characters. An absolutely absurd effect that is uninterruptible as well. A full board plus that affinity is nuts, and you can even run a combination of these 2 characters together of Shanks' crew and Ace Sabo for a full board of slots, a 1.5 affinity, and a 1.5 attack boost every single turn, and on the off turns you're also going to get a 2.25 affinity instead. So great combinations coming in so far. And then, of course, their special ability just adds even more to this character, enabling you to remove Bind, Despair, and Special Bind by 5 turns upon activation. Also, having a crewmate effect that can resist Special Bind is pretty useful to have. They also remove block orbs, so you can have the Super Swap to guarantee you a full board of matching slots, and even if you do have those block slots, you can remove them by using their special ability. So it's a pretty nice little effect that they have. But they also improve your damage. They grant a 2.5 times slot effect boost to your free spirit and shooter characters, and that can last up to 3 turns, which is a unique effect for this legend in the fact that if a Luffy character is supported on themselves or is just on the team somewhere, then it's a 3-turn 2.5 orb boost to free spirit and shooter. However, if Luffy is not present, it will only be a 1-turn 2.5 times orb boost instead. Now, the slot boost is probably the only bad thing about the character. I'll talk more about it in the negatives of this unit, but there aren't really many negatives for this unit in general. But the fact that this orb boost is for free spirit and shooters is kind of weird when you consider the fact that their swap effect, both super and regular, as well as their captain effect, are all centered around being a rainbow unit, whereas their special ability is centered around free spirit and shooters. So that's the only like really odd thing about this unit, but when you think about it, like that would be a pretty broken unit in general if that was a rainbow 2.5 orb boost, and if you could have it last 3 turns as well, it could just be absolutely crazy. So in terms of the overall kit of this unit in regular content, it's quite impressive in almost every way. And of course, the fact that this character is an Ace and a Sabo unit, you get access to some supports, not as much as what you'd see from a Luffy Law, for example, but in terms of supports, they have some uses. Of course, they can get the Int Valentine Koala attached to this unit, which means that when you launch the special, it removes an additional 2 turns of Bind and Despair, which this unit already removes Bind and Despair, so if you need to move just a couple of additional turns, you can do that. Also, Quickbeard is pretty good if you need to move additional turns of Despair. The support of that removes 3. Another really good support is Strength Rare Recruit Jozu that came out with Ace versus Akainu. The fact is that attack down removing supports are pretty uncommon, and the fact that this Rare Recruit character has it and you can attach it to this unit is very valuable. So if you have Strength Rare Recruit Jozu, then make sure to get his support maxed out. Very useful. And like the last one that I kind of identified was the Mr. 3 and Miss Golden Week support Rare Recruit character. It can attach to Free Spirit or Driven characters, and it says that when you reach stage 3, it reduces the cooldown of that unit by like 1 or 2 turns. It also has like some other effect, but that's mainly the reason why this character is used. Just, you know, there aren't really many great supports for Ace and Sabo, unfortunately, but those are the ones that I kind of identified that are going to be reasonably good. And then finally, we can talk about the ships that this character can get access to and actually abuse. So first of all, if you're running a full Free Spirit team to try and abuse their slot effect boost with their special, you can go ahead and use the Aura Jackson ship. Very powerful ship, giving you recovery in tandem is beneficial. Also with a special ability that is able to remove the 2 turns of paralysis, so that gives you additional utility that you may not have had otherwise. Pretty useful to have. On top of that, they are a Free Spirit unit, so you can go ahead and use the Liberal Hind as the ship of choice to grant you, some cooldown reduction. It also has the additional 1000 heal per turn. Probably one of the best ships in the game, an absolutely absurd ship. Also, the fact that when you switch between Ace and Sabo, they are going to maintain either the Dex or Quick Typing, meaning you can use the Shark Superb ship, which is very good for the Kizuna that's out right now, allowing you to get a little bit more damage output. Though, if you do need the Super Swap, you will have to take a couple of additional turns of stall, but it shouldn't hinder the damage too much. It will still be better than the Liberal Hind, for example. So, Shark Superb is a really great ship for this unit if you're running short-form content, and you can use the Revolutionary Army Birds for the same case because you are running strength. You can run strength, dex, and quick units, this unit being quick and dex, so you can use the Revolutionary Army Birds if you need to, and also the fact that this character recovers with every perfect that they hit, and they already provide a really big health boost. You can also use the Moby Dick to get just absurd HP, and the fact that this character innately will remove despair whenever it's inflicted to you means that you're not going to be losing too much HP, so I think that that is also a very valid option for a ship with Ace and Sabo, especially for difficult content. So as you guys can see, there's a lot of positives about this unit, but what are the bad things that I've located, right? Now, with Ace and Sabo, I kind of touched up on it a little earlier, but I really don't like the fact that their special ability is a Free Spirit and Shooter-based orb boost. I would have preferred if it was always a 1-turn orb boost, but it was a Rainbow 2.5. I would have preferred that personally, but I can understand why it is the way that it is. But yeah, that's really just the only thing about the unit that I really have found to be just a huge annoyance. But there is also something else that a lot of people kind of overlook, and it's the fact that when you activate the Super Swap for the first time, you're always going to be in Sabo's form. Now that is actually a pretty big problem. It just shows it in this particular clip that you'll see. On the final stage, we want the Super Swap, but we're going to be in Sabo's form, whereas the final boss is going to be a Strength unit. Now, normally you would want to be in Ace's form to get that type advantage. So in order to get the Super Swap, but you want to be in Ace's form, you have to do the entire cycle of the Super Swap again in order for the next activation of Super Swap to be in the Ace form instead. That is actually a pretty big thing that a lot of people overlook, and it really does make you think, and you really have to ensure that you're activating the Super Swap on the right turns when you're using this character. Honestly, this is the #1 drawback to the unit, is having to cycle through the Super Swaps again if you need the right color unit to be active at the right time. It would be really cool if you could actually choose when to activate the Super Swap, but at the same time, I feel like that would be incredibly broken if you could just store the Super Swap and use it whenever you wanted. But at the same time, it is a little bit of an issue that I have found with this unit. And then, the other minor nitpick is the fact that, it's a dual unit, and the fact that they have low multipliers a majority of the time when you compare it to the rest of the characters in the meta, such as regular super type characters, which can range between like a 4 to 5 times boost. Regularly getting that 5 times boost without any problems. So, you know, obviously that is a bit of a hindrance, but of course this character has amazing utility and everything else going for it, so you can understand why, you know, dual units are the way that they are, right? But that is going to conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about Ace and Sabo down below in the comment section, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and if you guys did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.